Thank you once again. Thank you for visiting our channel today. Today we are going to be working on how to create an EC2 instance in AWS with the latest technique so far 2023. But before we go, I want to recommend you we have an upcoming DevOps Master Degree program starting on the 21st of August 2023. You can kindly visit our website https solvetechacademy.com, do your registration, and you leave your comment below with a question about your guaranteed of a job, anything. So we're going to reply you. So before we go, we've had a lot of questions people have been asking. Why do we need DevOps in the world? How far are we guaranteed for the jobs in the world? And why do we need AWS to study DevOps engineering? What's the use of the IMA user? Why do we need EC2 instance? What's the use for? Why people always say create an EC2 instance account as the first prerequisite in DevOps. So, and people have had this idea about Amazon that all they do is to provide them a goods and services for consumption. But did I know this part of Amazon will provide a cloud computing service, AWS, that we are going to use today to create our EC2 instance account? So, this explanation will help you more because it's going to enlighten you to know why you're creating an EC2 instance, how it works, and the reason behind why you're creating it. So stay tuned and go to the website, register, leave your comment, your doubts. We're going to get back to you. We're going to make a video so explain this to you in detail. So without much ado, let's dive in. Okay, here we go. The very first question asks, can anyone study DevOps engineering even without any IT background? Yeah, a very short response to that question is yes, you can study DevOps. Yeah, not everyone in the DevOps team need to be a development savant. Yeah, all we need to know is to be a creative engineer, a creative DevOps engineer, and know how to support your team in general so you can do your work and your tasks. So in this case, anyone can study DevOps engineering depending on your productive or your creative mind. Even with or without any IT background, you can study DevOps, or even people with basic Linux and shell scripting can move along with DevOps engineering. Yeah. We now to create an AWS account. Before an AWS as a cloud service provided by AWS, we're going to see how we can create our EC2 instance and how that works. So firstly, we're sure we go to a console browser and okay, let's go to SolveTech Academy here and we're going to type AWS console. AWS console, yes, AWS console, we hit AWS management console. Okay, boom. And now we have here in detail whatever things they provide. You see the free AWS training, AWS certification resources, and free digital training. So you can have this interface, a web page of AWS, and get it in detail to know more about what you want to know about AWS, the products, and you can see the products they offer. We have the blockchain, business application, and even a compute. The compute now go for the computerized or the cloud services provided by AWS. Okay, so now let's dive into the console and create an account. In this case, I already have my account created, but for your case, I can get in and you can see here is written directly here. I'm in my account created, but should in case, let me sign out. So you have to be know how to create. So each one in case you want to sign in and you need to create an account. Now here you see that I am a user, as I also explained last time. I am a user simply represent the user, so you can guide you to have access to control security over the resources of the Amazon's web, no, Amazon web services. Okay, so it seems like you use the interface that's uniquely for you to do that. Okay, so in this case, if you don't have an account yet in Amazon, you can definitely go to create an account, but I make sure I inform you creating an account requires a debit card or Visa card, or let's say any digital card you use to provide, or you can acquire services or things online. Okay, so in my case here, I already have an account created. I will just lose my email and I go next to my account. I put my password. You don't have to see that. Okay, and I log in here. And boom, I'm now in my AWS account. Come to AWS, you can get started. For those who are new and you want to like a soft copy that you can go through and have a detail or understanding of what you want to do, you can just click it to a new tab and we explain to you in detail. There are even videos you can go through to know what you want to do. And we have training now. AWS have gone an extra mile in 2023 to make things more facilitated and easier for beginners to get started. Okay, so they now provide you videos so you can now get to use and know how to do your work. They now provide to you demos and stuff, and they now have active things you can recommend and have questions by them. And we have training and certification provided by them. You can dive into the new tab and know that also in detail. So in this case, you just want to create a basic EC2 instance. I just have to explain these things to you because I believe it's best you know what you're doing and the reason behind what you're doing, not just saying and just doing what you think is right for you to do. Okay. All right. So we now dive into the services provided by this. And before I proceed here, you can also go to your location here, should in case you might get into your AWS account and your language or the region you are might not be that advantageous to you, or favoring you, like the language might be different and you might not understand how to integrate and change that. So in this case here, I put my locations in the UA, London here. Yes, so in your case, if it's in France or anywhere, you can direct your region so it favors you for your language and any other advantage yours AWS can provide for you. So we go to the services here, and you got the services they provide you. We have the analysis and everything with respect to your account you created. We have the blockchain, the business application, and even the completing services. So in the completing service now, here we just have the console, home, and EC2 and AMA because these are the recent things I have visited because I had to make sure I prepared myself for the video I'm actually doing here now. So I had to go to the compute and I we have all computerized cloud services provided by the AWS. We have the EC2 image builder, the EC2 instance server in the cloud. We have the elastic being stock, we have the lambda. I will not go much in detail because you can actually get here and you get a documented part of it, or I'm gonna put a link below so you can get to know detail about AWS EC2 instance. So I'm gonna click here in EC2 instance to get services. And now, boom, I have now EC2 instance. You have everything here in detail. We have the resources AWS provide, and you can go to the EC2 global view to know what spec about the region you've chosen and to know things you visit and how it favors and changes you. We have the research summary. We have embedded region, what I've done. I will equally see the ones running. Okay, we have one-in-one regions, and now we have the subnet max and other detailed stuff. Scroll down here, we have them here, and you see it here active in the specific regions I have been working on because I had to make this video. And here we go. So we can go to the region, you can visit the instances, the subnet, the security group, and all such. So let's go back to the services here and go back to the EC2 instance. As I explained to you, right? So you can see here below the tab here, you now notice we have it have explore things there, they have to bring things to you that you can actually get started with and much more. So if you want to create an instance now, you have a tab here after going to instances. We have a launch instance, okay? So I want to launch an instance, okay? I'm going to launch one instance as a launch instance. All right. So after launching an instance here, we have launch instance and AWS EC2 allows you to create a virtual machine and all instances that you can run what AWS cloud. Remember, you want AWS cloud quickly and get started in the following steps. So you can see below. Firstly, we got to give a name of our instance here. Let's say our instance first name will be soft check instance demo. And get you have the applications, have the images of the various operating systems you might use. We have the AWS for the Amazon Linux, we have the Mac iOS, the Ubuntu, and most of these ones recommended here. The first stop are the free tier. You can use them, but there are other different. And should in case there's one you want to use and you can't find it here, the image being provided at a quick start, you can kindly go to your search bar and search it something like a Centurions, which is not here, or you can click here to get all the different things you don't know, and maybe probably if it's not here, then fine. Here, the search bar you can get to find them. So in this case here, I'll go for Red Hat, but you can go for any of your choice here. I will go for Red Hat because you will just want to get a basic EC2 instance. Let me go for something pretty complex so you can enlighten your mind to know about now. It's all about instance. With respect to the image or the operating system you choose, you can go for Windows, Ubuntu, but all about instance, okay? And I'll go for this one, and I'm going to go for the Amazon image here, which is a free tie. I'm gonna get for Red Hat, it's a free tie, right? So I'll just leave the architecture for 62-bit, so because it doesn't get paid and different, and it can make it work faster. And instant type will go for E2 T2 micro, and going for E2 micro because of free tie and wouldn't be charged for it. Remember, there are a lot of different instant type, but some you can be charged for because it takes a lot of some you actually require large pieces. And if I click here, I can see different like the micro, the nano, and the small. We have the medium, and we have the too large, we have the extra large. Okay, this one you see they have faster print and faster CPUs and things that you might be charged for. But since it's just for demo purpose, I'm gonna allow everything here by default, so we don't get to be charged. But you can compare instances here with respect to the case you want to change and want to do your work differently. So for keeper, we have a keeper created when making this video, which you can proceed, and we have the keeper recommended here by default, but we don't have any keeper here. So you can go ahead and create one keeper with a perm. You can create for PPK for those who are using the software of Qt. You can go with for PPK because you can go with a perm. But connecting your server with different things, you can go for perm because you can use for the SSH. So in this tutorial, we're using for SSH. So I'm going for perm, and I will type my keeper name, our SolveTech. The SolveTech key one, okay, and I just create my keeper. It's going to download at the site here, as you can see. Please, I recommend make sure you keep your keeper in a safe directory. You don't delete it because you will need it. So far as your keeper doesn't exist, I don't think it's relevant or it's important for the instance to still be running because you can do any pretty work, let's say a local work with it, okay, but it's best to keep it, okay. And for the networking setting, we just get to allow everything here by default because it could be changed with respect to the kind of operating system or the types of work you want to do. For instance, if you want to run something like a Jenkins or you want to do work like a Nisius, it requires any different kind of configurations. And but because it's a basic instance, just a methodology how it's been created, you just allow everything by default. And for the security group, and we have selecting existing group. No, we don't have, so we just get to create a new one here and make sure allow SSH traffic from everywhere, okay, because it's just a basic instance demo. Okay, so we are not configuring or making things specific for any organization, so we're going to allow it specifically for every, okay, with IP address. You see everything there. And I configure the station of storage, just everything by default, and you look down, is you're okay with it, then let's go ahead and launch our instance here. As our instance has been launched, all right, okay, we have successfully initiated launch of instance, okay, and you can go ahead here by creating your billing outlet or connect your instance directly from the AWS console, or you can connect and create a new database, but you can be charged. That's with respect to what you want to do. But I will move forward by viewing instances to see what instance we just created. All right, we just created an instance here, and we have here instance SolveTech instance name. We have it pending, and stuff we don't have is not yet being initiated, and we're gonna hold on for a couple of while so we see how this work. And screw here can get a key name, keeper name here, launch instance, other things. Right, so that's hold on for a while, and now we can actually reload. Okay, now it's running. We can actually reload this so we can have our stuff here initiated. Okay, now it's still initializing, as you can see it here. Yes, you see here initializing. So hold on for a while after initializing, but as well while waiting for it to be initialized, get to our instances. You can click here and have a detail of your instance here and the name of the domain name and the IP address and even the domain name server and everything. And we have here the security detail, we have the networking detail and storage detail. You can follow out the info link here to know more in detail what spec you want to do the port number and the range in case you work with different tools which have different port numbers and you want to run them on local things. That's how you have to configure them. So here we are creating just a basic instance, so we'll not go more in depth by running those things through which time. So I want to reload this again in my case to see if it has been initialized already. And let's see, okay, still initializing, and click here again, and we have our ID here, we have our host name, IP address, and we have, you are using the red hat, which the red hat using EC2 user. Right, let me reload this again. Okay, initializing, and let's get there. All right, so it's running already. So let's see. I'm going to show you how to connect now your instances to a local software or local software. You can do your work. You can actually connect it in many ways, okay? But I'm going to show one of the most recommended ways using the MobaXterm, or you can go directly even with the AWS console working on AWS service, and you can also connect it with your Ubuntu command line. Okay, so in this case here, you can hit the connect so you can have more detail about your name, your IP address, so in case you can identify them to connect to your local software. You can see username is EC2 user and the IP address is, yeah, here we go. So I'm going to get now to my MobaXterm here. Okay, MobaXterm, we have this now. Okay, get to my MobaXterm, create a new session. Yes, and new session, and we go for SSH, and we have remote host. Remote host here was written is our, okay, public IP address. I'll copy a public IP address here. Okay, and I'll paste that copy address. And remember, our name of specific name is EC2 user. EC2, which Elastic Cloud Computing, EC2 user. And if you check here, it's the same thing here. As you can see, EC2 user. And now we get to SSH key we used. All right, so use a private key here. And since if it doesn't exist, we can't really cope. But now it exists, click there, and now we connect now to our work and see what happened. Authenticating, and boom, we now have it EC2 user connected. But should in case we were not in the EC2 user, it won't show this locate this directory. Okay. For instance, if I now go to, let's say I want to open a new tab here, and I have the home, and you see what I have here. I have these things here. I can just say cd, I can change directory, then I can change directory the dot go one way back and see I have the home. I'm not working on AWS anyway. pwd and command present working directory. I have home, which means I'm working directly on my PC or my Windows computer without dive into any cloud service anyway. But when you go here, the case of AWS Elastic Cloud Computing EC2, you see that you put your present working directory pwd command, and you have home and you have EC2 user. Right, you're not working on your EC2 user and you work with direct to your IP address. Okay, I'm going to show you more detail how this connect to that place, and by terminating the terminating the instance, and see if it will still continue to work. All right, coming to the case here, I have here, and I want to I want to know more in depth answer peers and have in detail all these things here in my IP, and see everything here in here written here. But if you go in the case of the AWS, put peers and see what we have. We have this detail of everything. So I hope now this directory, now you can understand where we are working on is different from this directory. So I think you've understood how to create your EC2, and you've known what EC2 instance is all about, and you can connect your EC2 to another software or device operating system to work remotely and do your work first, okay, without necessarily remaining on the AWS console, because it might be limited and the storage level for you might be limited. But because this is a demo, we're just going to work fast. So let's see how this relies on the AWS console. And now we have here, let's go back to our instance here. It's running, and let me just reload that to see the installation checked out. And we have okay 22 check pass here, as you can see. 22 check pass is now active. So if I want to terminate my instance here for this case here, I click that and I go to the action part of it. You can do whatever thing you want to do here. You can duplicate if you want to work something like a Ansible for automation and you need some kind of tags or kind of target. We're going to meet that when you go to data or DevOps. And if you want to stop instance, in case I will stop my instance from running, and if I stop my instance from running, successfully stopped. In this case, you can still go and terminate. You can now start it back and you can just play along with it, okay? Easy do your work. And so I'll go back here and I try to see what happened here. Broadcast message from the local host. Now through the time everything will stop, the system will power off now. Why? I put pwd, it can't do any work again because it has been stopped. So I hope you've understood everything and how to start and stop your EC2 instance to do your work, and how to connect to your local host software to do your work, and how to create an account in AWS. And I hope this makes you well, and thank you. To complete our session video, you're one step forward to become a DevOps engineer. Now you already have an AWS account. So in any case, any misunderstanding, you can just leave your comment below. We are going to work on it and we are going to do a video so you can explain to you in detail. But before you forget, subscribe so you can have more of our videos, and you can have a better career to become a DevOps engineer. Thank you and have a nice day.